Hi guys, today's video is all about these. The beautiful Chanel tweeds. They are limited edition and there is 4 in the collection, all eyeshadow quads. And hopefully these are going to be released on the 1st of September this year, 2022. I'm filming this in July, but I did speak to my sales assistant last week and she said at this stage, everything's still on track for these gorgeous eyeshadow quads to be released on the 1st of September. So the packaging is just beautiful and I will show them to you one by one. But the 4 quads, starting from the side here, we have Cuivre, then we have Fauve, then we have Brun at Rose, and then the last one is Pourpre. So these gorgeous tweeds come in the usual Chanel packaging. There is the 2 grams of product. It says on the front they are limited edition. They are made in Italy and they have a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening. So these really beautiful tweeds, the packaging is just absolutely stunning. I think they are super cute and of course inspired by the tweed jacket that is iconic with Coco Chanel. So I'm just going to put up a few pictures and I just had a quick look at a little bit of the history behind these tweeds. So the tweed jacket, the uniquely storied jacket, was originally inspired by a menswear design conceived of by Gabrielle Coco Chanel in the 1920s. The designer was influenced by the men's tweed fishing and hunting jackets worn by her lover, the Duke of Westminster, on his sporting estate Ray Forest in Sutherland in Northwest Highlands. It took her until 1954 to design the tweed jacket for women, in itself a retort to the hyper-feminized outfits of the early 1950s and her attempt to help women feel more powerful. She said that the hardest thing about my work is enabling women to move with ease, to move like they're not in costume. And her tweed jacket, which reinvigorated the coarse Scottish fabric, allowed women to move freely thanks to its loose fit and gently cropped sleeves, and was an instant hit. So we'll start off with Cuivre, and this is the packaging for that quad, and just beautiful. It is really, really cute. What a gorgeous pouch to have your quad in. Really, really pretty. And the quads are just the usual design on the front. And here is Cuivre. And this is more of a neutral, warm leaning quad. And this is the one that I'm going to put on today. And next is Fauve. And this is the tweed pouch for Fauve. And inside the pouches you have the Chanel logo, and Fauve is a warm quad and you have some burnt red orange shade, a gold, a brown and also a peach. And then we have Brun et Rose, and this is the pouch for that. They are just absolutely beautiful and a great replication of what the tweed jackets are like. Just really, really lovely. And again, there is the Chanel logo inside. And here is the colour story of Brun et Rose. And it looks like we have a taupe and a pink shade there, and some browns. And then last we have Pourpre, and this looks like sort of purples and pinks on the outside. And here is the colour story of Pourpre, and this is supposed to be purples and pinks, as Pourpre translates directly to purple. It does look like possibly there's plum in there as well. And I forgot to mention with the other 3 quads as well, but you can see the embossing. It's the tweed embossing and it's really beautiful. I can imagine that's not going to last very long though once I start swatching. So I'm now going to swatch these quads on my arm. I think I'll do 2 quads at a time, and I'm going to start off with Cuivre and then I'll do Fauve. So this is Cuivre and this is Fauve. And in Cuivre we have mattes, possibly there might be a satin. It's going to be a bit hard to tell until I put it on. This one here is the topper shade. And in Fauve, looks like this one, the peachy one, is satin and the rest are mattes, and there's no topper shade. So this gold one in here compared to Cuivre, this one is definitely more opaque than this one. So a topper in Cuivre, but no topper in Fauve. So here is Brun in Rose. These 4 shades here, and this one is Pourpre. Now with Brun in Rose, we have a topper shade, and then these 2, they look like satins, and then we have a matte. So with Pourpre we have, there could be a couple of satins. This shade here is very light, and I wouldn't even say it's a topper, just a very light sort of a satin. And these definitely swatch lighter than the other 3. This probably swatches the lightest, this one, and then the next deepest would be this one, and then the other 2 that I swatched, they are definitely more pigmented. So I'm going to put on this quad. This is the one Cuivre, and I think it's going to look really, really beautiful. I've already got foundation on and powder. I've done my eyebrows. I've also got bronzer on as well. Apart from the powder under my eyes, everything else that I'm wearing today is Chanel, and everything that I'm putting on my face today will be linked in the description box below. I also have an eyeshadow primer on that isn't Chanel, and I need to because I have oily skin and I have oily lids, and if I don't use that, then no matter what eyeshadow I use, it just won't last. So this quad from the swatches seemed to be quite pigmented. So I'm going to take my Rapha number 14 brush, and I think to begin with, I'm going to go into this shade here. And I'm just going to put that through my crease and slightly above. I would say that this is a satin. I'm going to take the Sonia G, the Worker 3 brush, and I'm going to go into the deepest shade, and I'm going to put this in my outer corner. This looks like a satin as well. So I'm just going to take the Chocohodo, this is the blend brush, and I'm just blending this out. These shadows in this particular quad seem to be fairly pigmented, and they blend really beautifully too. I'm going to take the Rapha number 3, and I'm going to stick with that darkest shade, and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to go into this shade here. This is the Chocohodo brush. This is the F061. And I'm going to put that over the rest of my lid. I love these colours. They are absolutely beautiful and definitely shades that I would wear for my everyday makeup. Really, really beautiful. So I think just like that, it's really, really pretty, but I am going to go into this gold shade, and I'm going to put it over the top of the other one, and it is sparkly. It's really, really pretty. So it just sort of adds just a little bit of a touch of glam without being over the top. I think it's really lovely. So you compare it to the other eye. It's just really beautiful. And I'm going to add some of that same shade that I just used, the gold one here, and I'm going to put some on my lower lash line as well. It is quite sparkly, but I think it looks really, really pretty. And instead of using an eyeliner, I think I'll be able to use the darkest shade in here just to give some definition to my upper lash line. So I'll try that, and if I don't think there's enough, I will use an eyeliner, but I just want to try this first. I think it'll be enough. So here is the finished look. I put on some mascara. I didn't use a separate eyeliner. I just used the darkest shade in that quad, and I think that was enough to give some definition. For the blush and the highlighter, these are both limited edition ones, and I don't think you can get them anymore. But today's video is really all about the eyeshadow quads. So, but for the blush, I did use the blush Lumiere, and it is in the shade Brun Russi. That is just such a beautiful blush. And the highlighter, I used the Camellia one that was released earlier this year. That's really beautiful. And the lipstick is also a limited edition one that is no longer available. And that was in the shade Doceur. And I just wanted to have a really light lip with this eye look. So I think that this quad is absolutely beautiful. This is definitely my type of everyday makeup, and even with that gold sparkle, it's not too out there. So it just gives, I think it just gives an ethereal look to the eye. It is sparkly. There is fallout, and really I got the main fallout when I went to put it on my lower lash line. That's when it dropped down here a bit. So there's little bits of gold sparkle sort of through here, but I don't really mind that. And you wouldn't get that if you did your eyeshadow first and then put on the rest of the makeup. You could tidy all that up, but I don't mind it. There isn't too much fallout. And I think if I had just stuck to the sparkly shade on my lid without going underneath, that probably wouldn't have happened. This blended really, really beautifully, and I love this dark brown here. It's like a chocolate brown, and it's really, really beautiful. What a gorgeous quad. And of course the packaging is just beautiful. Have you got these shades in Chanel or other brands? You probably have, but really it's a lot to do with the packaging and the beautiful tweeds. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. The packaging is super cute. I'll just show you what my quad looks like now, because I have swatched it now and also put it on my eyes. So there is still a little bit of the embossing left, but you can see that it is wearing down. So the embossing will stay for a little while. I'll probably get a few uses out of it before it completely disappears. But if you want to have one that's going to stay in pristine condition, either you won't be able to use it, or you'll have to buy two when they are released. Now, I imagine that these are going to be super popular once these are released. And from my understanding, where they are released worldwide, it's only going to be at Chanel boutiques. I don't think they're going to be in the bigger department stores. Of course, that may be wrong. I'm not sure. But from my understanding, that's how they're going to release it. And let's hope they do release it on the 1st of September. Chanel have been a little bit strange this year with what they've released and when they've released it and what countries they've released it in as well and what order. It has been a bit confusing for quite a few people. But I am absolutely thrilled with this quad, and if the other 3 are half as good as this one, they're gonna all look really, really fantastic. Really thrilled that I got them. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And if these interest you, then don't wait round when they release. I imagine they're gonna go fairly quickly. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.